So Italy's economic situation has been improving, but has it improved enough to bear the cost of the G7? Because global summits are not cheap, and the G7 is no exception. Canada was the G7 host in 2018, and the summit cost taxpayers 605 million Canadian dollars. That's about 440 million US dollars at today's exchange rate. In 2019, France was the host. They toned down the spending, but the bill still came to over 36 million euros, which is more than $39 million today. And this was when France decided to use existing infrastructure. The UK played host in 2021, and the bill for that summit crossed $115 million. So clearly the G7 is a drain on the host nation's coffers. And Italy looks like it is going all out. Let's show you the venue, the Borgo Ignazia Resort. It's a luxury resort located in southern Italy's Fasano town. The resort will host the G7 members, the delegates from other invited countries and their entourage. So it definitely won't be cheap. And the costs don't end here. There are also gifts.
Male prime ministers will be gifted silver cufflinks made according to my design in a package branded Tallarico for the G7. For female prime ministers and the spouses of the male prime ministers, there will be handbags, a shopper, a bag that I created about a year and a half ago, and it is having success, and I am very pleased that this new product was chosen as a gift by Meloni for the summit in Puglia.
That was Maurizio Tallarico, the owner of an Italian tailoring store. His products are bespoke and world famous. His ties have been worn by almost every Italian prime minister or president. Even US presidents like Barack Obama and Donald Trump wear his ties. So this gift hamper will be worth quite a bit. Next, there are the security costs. When you have world leaders, you also have world-class security, and Italy is taking this up a notch. The Italian Interior Ministry has chartered a cruise ship for the police. It's called the Goddess of the Night. 2,600 officers will be accommodated on board this vessel. Safes on the ship will be used to store weapons. There will be specialized rooms for police equipment. And the cruise ship will be docked at Brindisi, a city near the G7 venue. And how much will this cost? The charter cost has not been made public, but cruise ships can cost upwards of $1.5 million a day. Then there will be cost for police deployment as well. When the G7 was held in the UK in 2021, more than half the cost was for security, so the Italian cruise corps will squeeze the taxpayers. Now, considering all these tall expenses, the G7 summit will have to deliver results. And that depends on who's coming. You obviously have the G7 members, they're all coming, but the other guests are equally important. Meloni has gone all out. The guest list includes Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Jordan's King Abdullah II, multiple African heads of state, and even the Pope. The Pope will be delivering a lecture on artificial intelligence, which may sound odd, but apparently the Pope has been working with AI for years. The Vatican and firms like Microsoft began collaborating in 2020 on some principles known as the Rome Call for AI Ethics. So that is why the Pope will deliver a lecture on artificial intelligence. Then there are the other guests. Giorgia Meloni has opened the doors for almost everyone, it seems. She wants the world present for her moment of glory when she takes her place as one of the G7's most powerful leaders. The guest list shows various priorities: the war in Ukraine, the war in Gaza, illegal immigration to Europe, and ties with Arab nations. Meloni wants to be part of all these conversations, and that is why she's invited so many delegates. It's her signal to the world that Italy has finally returned to the global stage. Fan of Italy's famous cuisine? Well, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy. As G7 leaders gather in southern Italy, Vantage is taking you to the heart of the action. What's the agenda? Who's invited? And how is Italy preparing for it? Catch the special edition of Vantage throughout this week, only on Firstpost. Fan of Italy's famous cuisine? Well, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy. As the G7 leaders gather in southern Italy, Vantage is taking you to the heart of the action. What's the agenda? Who is invited? And how is Italy preparing for it? Catch the special edition of Vantage throughout this week, only on Firstpost.